affordable housing, maybe you need to move to Texas if this is a problem for you.
I think you do.
That is Shauna Acquisto. She's a luxury real estate broker. We're based here in Frisco, Texas, and we're going to talk about how affordable Texas homes are compared to the national averages and how everything's still doing great here.
Yes.
And it's still super affordable. So we'll talk about that first. Then we'll talk about the prices being super valuable and favorable here. We'll talk about how price appreciation has been 10% or more in, I believe, 48 states over the last recent past. So that's crazy that it's up that much.
Yep.
And some have been up as
states,
much as 20 to 30%.
Yes. Can you guys guess which 2 states have had, the least amount of growth?
A price appreciation, for the same home.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a link for you, and we're going to share the screen and chat in some stuff, and we'll get a little interactive.
Yeah.
And kind of move around this map and show that off.
Okay.
So that link's going to be coming over to you. You'll be able to find that in the description. And I'm going to borrow the mouse right now and move it around just a little bit and see what we can show off here.
Let's see.
Yeah, so this is price appreciation. Okay. Double digits are shown by anything that is in the darker blue. Okay. And then under that is going to be the lighter blue.
Right.
So the 2 states, North Dakota and 10.9. So these are under 11%. Right. So under 11%, North Dakota and Louisiana, as far as price appreciation goes.
But the whole country's up above 10.
That's as low as it is anywhere. Okay. So then as you start to look around, we set that as like this, the floor. And normally you'd see negative numbers in certain areas, but they're all super positive. So what that means is everything's going up.
Everything's
across
going
the
up.
country. Then we can start to look at some specific numbers. So the state of Texas overall is at 18.9. Okay.
And it's still very affordable here.
And here's where it becomes why it's really affordable. So let's look at some of your other kind of favorite states. The state of Montana up 26%.
What?
So if you were in Montana, you would suddenly find that, relatively speaking, Texas is more affordable to move to than it was for Montana. The relative affordability between the two. Now, I also will point out, if you maybe are a Idahoan, is that what they would be?
Yep.
35.8%.
Yes, and it is continuing to climb. Like, it is crazy there still. And we've talked to, my family, my brother and his family live in Boise, and we've talked to them. They're both in real estate. So, we know that.
Isn't that outrageous?
Yeah. Check California.
All right, so let's take a look at California. So they are at 21.2%. So their prices, if we look at it before this, were way higher than Texas, and they've continued to gain more traction. So relatively speaking, again, California coming to Dallas or to Texas at the very least, it's even more affordable than it was before.
Yeah.
On a relative index. You have to take and remember that even though prices have went up here, where have they went up more and how much have we gained?
Yeah, and what were their prices to start with, right? So if it was already like on the cusp of being
like way not affordable,
cost of living and everything just outrageous, then those are where we need to, maybe visit.
Yeah, no, exactly.
People.
Oregon up 20%, right? Nevada 23%, Arizona 27%. So I think we compete a lot with Arizona and like the Scottsdale area for people specifically. Like, where am I going to move? If that's the case. So we are now way more affordable than Scottsdale, relatively speaking, again.
Yeah.
So if businesses or any one of those things are considering relocating, we're going to be super affordable compared to there. Often a competitor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if we went back up here, New York went up as a state overall by 16.6%. Up in the Northeast, Vermont had a gain here. New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut. So these places are all up as well.
Yeah.
Right in that same type of range. And the more rural the more they have kind of increased in value. So we see that space.
Yeah.
Right?
Whoa, go back.
Yes.
Oh, that was Idaho.
That was Idaho, yeah. Wyoming up 14.9%. I don't know why Wyoming's not performing as well as Montana or Idaho. Utah, 30%. So that's probably a lot of that's Park Cities, Utah. Yeah.
Moab.
Colorado. Okay. So these areas where there seem to be more space.
Wow, New Mexico. Go down to that.
New Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay. 15.7%. So they're performing probably a lot better than I thought. These it's really weird. So these are the beautiful flyover states, and these are just like flyover states. I'm not sure in particular, but these ones here hadn't performed as well. So it seems to be maybe the West Coasters moving this way, or people finding the mountains. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure.
Yep.
But these are real things. And just looking relatively, we've had, I think we're still super affordable.
I do too. And yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on back to the screen here, and we'll discuss it just a little bit more. All right. So as all those states are up that much, what things come to your mind? And what things come to your minds as you're sitting there listening as agents?
Yeah. I believe, where can you go and have a great lifestyle and afford to live, right? We hear the Bozeman area. People are, it is a college town too, and people are really struggling with finding anywhere to live or to rent. So, and where we are, we see and feel the increases, right? But if you think about people coming from some of these other states, this is great. This is a great state. There's things to do. The weather's, good, and the prices are still affordable. So,
yeah, so I'm super impressed. And when I first saw this, I was like, uh-oh, we're not going to be affordable anymore. And then you had to change your mindset because here locally, we see prices going up and we're like, oh, it must not be affordable anymore. But the reality is you have to consider compared to where other people are coming from.
Right.
And it's still super affordable.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to continue to have all those same migration patterns. I think we're going to still continue to win in corporate relocations and moving people here where there's still tax advantage reasons for income.
Yeah.
With the no state income tax.
And I think it's important for us to educate others, right? We can't get in our own mindset that, it's so expensive here. Okay. You have to think as an agent, look at the broad picture. And, a lot of these people who may call in or call you and talk about Texas, gosh, it is affordable. And you can show them some stats and compare. I really like that map, how you can...
Yeah, it was a good one. And I do think that, you spoke recently about it, that everyone can't live in the exact place that they want for the exact price. And sometimes there's a commute that's required.
Yeah.
We were desensitized to the commute, and it wasn't a thing here. And you used to be able to live close to where you wanted to be. But now as it's becoming more dense and as these things are adding up, we're not able to find the price and the location.
Of
so
maybe
now,
where you raised your children, right?
So it just changes a little bit, and now you might need to drive. And now Sherman and Denison and those areas become things. Salina is just exploding.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden we see these areas moving out. They say Salina's going to be bigger than Frisco. Yeah,
right?
It has a huge land mass area.
Projection, yeah. So, but they can come here, people can come here, and they can buy in the outskirts. We saw Little Elm boom because people kind of got right outside of Frisco. It's the same. And I think those areas, if you get in now, you're kind of getting in at the ground level. We talked about that before. And eventually you're going to have a great investment. So instead of renting at these higher prices to stay in a particular area, I would change that mindset and try to educate. We are advocates and we are somewhat educators. We need to educate home buyers on these types of things.
Yeah.
Home ownership, I strongly encourage, even though, it's a little challenging right now, and you have to start broadening your search.
Yeah.
Expand a little bit.
So in closing, don't be blue. Over home prices, don't worry about it.
Wow.
We're still super affordable here on a relative basis.